the good days. Here's to the soft.
Hey planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be answering the second most popular question that I get, and that is, what do I use this notebook for? What is it? Where did I get it? What's inside of it? And I promise that I'm not trying to be secretive about the notebook. The only thing about it is that everything that is inside of this notebook is stuff that I can't really show on camera because all of it is just very personal. There are phone numbers and emails and all kinds of things that I don't really feel comfortable showing the entire internet. And that makes it easier so that I can flip through and show this to the internet for the most part. There's not really anything in here that I need to necessarily hide. And when I saw everyone using these planners, I noticed that they had a notebook. Now, the notebook that most people were using were like the spiral, I don't remember the name of them, but they're like the little pocket notebooks from Walmart. I think they're like $1 or something like that. But I knew that when I wanted to try this system, I wanted to get a notebook that did not have the spiral, the coil on it, because I felt like if this already had a coil and then I had another coil, it was just kind of gonna bulk this planner up, and that was really not what I wanted. A huge reason why I went from personal rings to this planner was because when I had this planner, even just holding this now, it's like a brick, and I've taken a lot of things out of here to put in here, and it's still fairly heavy. And so I knew that I wanted to put this in a system where I could actually take it with me and it not feel so heavy in my purse. And this notebook is a huge reason why I am able to do that. So I wanted to get into the details of the notebook specifically. This is a freely noted notebook, and I purchased this from Planner Monkey Co. She is a Canadian shop. I'm sure some of you or most of you in the planner community have heard of her. I love her. She is so sweet. She is really quick to answer questions when you DM her. She takes the time out of her extremely busy schedule, and I love that. The notebook itself is called a Pocket Brown Freely Noted. It is 208 pages on Tomoe River paper, which is basically just the really, really thin, almost Bible-esque type of paper. Also too, I want to say that I had a Hobonichi a very, very long time ago, but it was one of from another shop that was around, and it didn't have the Tomoe River paper. So this is really the first time I've ever had this type of paper. And let me tell you, I was a little, kind of concerned because I was worried about the bleeding or the shadowing with the pens, and how it was just gonna look with everything. And I thought that maybe I wouldn't be able to write. I could write on the front of a piece of paper, but I wouldn't be able to write on the back of it. No, that is not at all there's no issues with this. At least for me, there's not. So I'm really enjoying this. Let's see. I like that this is small. It's technically a pocket. That's the size of it. And as you can tell, when I put it in here, it's not to its full height on the planner. It does leave a little room, so you can kind of move it up. You can center it if you need to. I have to pull mine out just a little bit to make sure that when I close it, my pen's not smashing like the tabs, because they are pretty big. But yeah, so let's get into this. I'm gonna go through the deco and the tabs, where they're from. This is I think it's a magnetic bookmark from Beyond Paper Flowers on Etsy. This sticker and this sticker are from Lubine on Etsy. Let's see what I can show you here. This sticker is from Planner Kate. The Squad Goals Golden Girls Post-its are from Beyond Paper Flowers on Etsy again. And these tabs are the Post-it brand. It's there's a 36 pack, and these are the pastel colors. I have my notes off to the side so that I can remember to detail everything. And then the word scripts for the tabs are from Caden's mom's shop. She has a website, and you can find her on Instagram under Caden's Mom Plans. All right, so the sections in the notebook. As you can see, my first section is contacts, then I have school, health, lists, meals. Now this is a sub tab, and the vet information is in the health tab. I have that there so that I can see the difference between my daughter's health overall and then my pets, because I need to keep those separate. And then I have the last tab is going to be my personal tab. Let's see. I'm gonna try to show as much as I can on here. If I show too much, we're just gonna have to blur it out, because like I said, there's a lot of just very personal information on here. So these sections right here are pretty much what I had in my personal rings. I used the tabs, and I guess you could say that for the most part, and I took a lot of the stickers off, but they're essentially the same things here. These tabs are like tabs that are like open up in my brain. So that is how I essentially use my planner. I have a system that I don't really deviate from much. It's pretty much stayed the same in all of my planners, whether that was a ring planner, whether that was my Erin Condren planner, or the Day Designer now. So I have my months and my schedule. However, that is what the Day Designer Pocket Planner has. For the most part, that is separate from the notebook. But what I do keep in here, as opposed to being in this notebook, would be stuff like my finances, which I don't know if I would necessarily call them my finances. It is just a simple, over easy, simplistic way of keeping up with paydays, what the auto bill amounts are, and when they are due, and which check they're going to come out of. And then I just highlight whenever they've been taken out of the account. I have a monthly spending tracker so that I can see what I've spent through the month, and then when I get done with that, I place it over here in the month, and so that I have a record of what it is that I purchased in that prior month. And then I have the September monthly overview, which is relatively new for me for the past couple of months, but I really enjoyed doing this because these are things that I wasn't typically focused on, but I found that it really helps with all of like the finances. It's no longer just in the back of my mind, completely forgotten. They're right here. So at the end of every month, I come here and these are the tasks that I do to make sure that we're all good and ready and set up for the next month. And then here are just the goals and top priorities for the month. So those obviously change for whatever is happening in the month. But these are like the big things, like the bigger money things. So I have to remember these things, because if not, well, then my daughter wouldn't have a cap and gown for her graduation, or I wouldn't have put enough money on the side for the oil change. So I keep the finances in this planner, mostly because that's not something I really, like, I don't mind sharing. Everyone has finances. Everyone spends money. If you're not comfortable with, putting that on the internet, totally understand. This I don't really see, much of an issue with. So that is fine. I also have just a post-it note for the check register. I rarely write checks. I really don't know anyone who really does checks, but we have a couple places, like a small town, like our water and stuff. Now, if it wasn't on auto pay, then we would have to pay with a check, but that is just there. It goes from month to month until I fill it out, and then I just do a new one. Everything else in this planner is obviously the monthlies and the weeklies, and then in the back, I would pretty much just have things that I would need to plan either the month or the week. The birthdays, the cleaning task, the master cleaning task, meal plans, and then football schedule, the to watch, which I haven't even updated that. So there's that. And then our medication trackers, and then, my cheat sheet for all of that. And then I have a little pocket here for receipts or anything, loose, and some stamps, maybe a check, a blank check that I need to use. And for the most part, I have post-it notes, and this is really the only way that I prefer to use in my planner. Is just, it's an easier way of doing things than having to just put it in this notebook, because I feel like if I put a random grocery list in here, I don't want to have to tear it out, because it's gonna bug me that there's a grocery list in here from 3 months ago, and then now I can't tear it out, but it's still in there. So this is for things that are just, they're gonna stay in here. They're not gonna go anywhere. A lot of this is really more reference things. So let's see if I can get into that without showing the internet all of my business. All right. Okay, so the first tab that I have is contacts. Now, I'm definitely not going to be showing this one, but this is just personal contacts. So I have friends, addresses. So like if I want to send happy mail, then I have their addresses. Yes, I am aware that you can keep all of these things in your phone. However, I think for most of us, if we're into planning, we're into like the paper and the pen. So I would rather just have a little place for me to go, and I can have it on my phone, but it's unlikely that I'm actually going to look at my phone to reference any of that. So that is why there's a contacts tab. The next tab is going to be school. So I have 2 daughters. I have one that is in elementary school, and the other one is a senior this year. So the reliability between the 2 of them are just as you would expect. I don't get a lot of information that I need. So in this section, you can find their school information, their phone number, and their email. The contacts, such as each teacher with their names and their emails. My senior only has like 2 classes this semester and next semester, so it's not really filled up that much. And my elementary student has a total of 3 teachers. But either way, I have all of their information. I have their emails, phone numbers, everything that I need to get into contact with them if need be. And then I also have what teacher teaches what, because let's be honest, once they get out of that portion of just having one teacher in elementary school and they start to have multiple, I needed to be reminded which teacher did what subject, so that if she was struggling in something specific, then I could remember which teacher I needed to contact. Let's see what else I have. I also have teacher lists for gifts. So I don't know about the rest of the way everything works. I just assume it's kind of rounded to be all of us. But when your kid goes to like the meet the teacher, and the teacher has like a paper that they've done about information on themselves, their favorite drinks, their favorite candies, their favorite colors, things like that. So I took all 3 of those, because my daughter has 3 teachers, and I put all of that in here. So when Halloween comes, and I get them a little goodie, I know what their favorite candy is. Or when Christmas comes, I know what their favorite classroom, utensil is. Like if they need, or their favorite is highlighters or color pencils or things for the classroom. I have all that information in here, and so I don't have to wonder, or I don't have to get them things that maybe they don't like or they don't need. And then there is a log for absences, to see, just kind of keep track of, if they're sick, if they miss school, what reason they missed school, the dates, and if it was excused or not excused. The next tab that I have on here is the health tab. Oh, can't show that. And inside the health tab, I have a health reference page, which includes all doctors' offices, eye doctors, dentists, urgent cares, and their pediatrician information. I have specifics of doctor names with addresses, like to the doctor's offices, not their actual addresses, and phone numbers, and which doctor each child sees and for what. So, when you have kids, you have a lot of doctors. You have eye doctors and dentists, and if you're going to an urgent care, then you've got that doctor, and then they have their pediatrician and all the things. So I make sure that I have all of that information in here, and I have it broken down for each child so that I don't get confused. Because yes, in the sense, our family goes to one eye doctor and one dentist, but with the urgent cares, it's a little bit different. I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but that's kind of how it works down here for us. There's also a sick day tracker, which I know is kind of repetitive for the 2, but I kind of like just having it in each tab just to have it. There's a period tracker for my youngest, which I created on Canva, and there is a link in my bio on Instagram where you can go and click it, and it's free if you want to print it out and cut it down. I think you can resize it to any size that you need. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if you have any questions on it or you're having issues with it, just send me a message and let me know, and I'll see if I can help you out. And then, doctor's appointments and excused or unexcused. Like I said, I have it in both, but I just like to have it in both tabs. The list tab is basically what it is. It's a tab where I have a coupon tracker list. I think I can show that. Let me see. Yeah. Where each shop may have, like, you know, where they do the PR and they have the coupon codes for, you know, different shops and stuff. I don't update this a lot, and I really should be, but that's pretty much all that I have for right now. And then I have a Planner Kate restock. These are all the stickers that I want to buy for the next time that I happen to just need to place an order pretty soon. But these are pretty much what I need for a restock for my stash. Let's see, and then the rest of it is like kids' birthday lists, things that they've told me that I can write down and I can reference it when I need it. Christmas lists, once again, where you can reference it if you need it. And house projects, things like that. And let's see, the next one is going to be the meals tab. This is just pretty much a list of recipes, and it's mostly recipes that I cook a lot. But I do have a few that are in here, and what I do is instead of getting a new recipe and writing it down in here and then cooking it, and then my family's like, yeah, that wasn't that great, let's not do that again. Instead of doing that and then having to be like, well, now I just wasted a whole sheet of paper, I write it on a Post-it note, I stick it in here, and then if it's a good one, then I'll just go ahead and transfer it, and if not, then I can just throw the Post-it note away. That way it saves the space, and it only, you know, I can only write in what absolutely was needed, like what was really liked about dinner, instead of just some random things that I'm scratching out like, oh, that was bad, wasn't that good. I also have a pre-diabetic list of what's healthy and not healthy in this section. My husband was just, I don't know if diagnosed is the correct word, but he's pre-diabetic. So having to kind of redo our recipes and trying to make it healthier so that he's able to eat it. That's pretty much. Oh, and I also have lunchbox foods ideas for the kids. So my kids do not eat at school. I couldn't even tell you the last time that they tried. I don't think my youngest has ever tried school food. So as you can tell, it gets very overwhelming because they get sick and tired of the same things over and over and over again. So Pinterest is my best friend. I go on there, I try to find some things. I'll try it. If they didn't like it, then that's fine. We'll just try it again. That's probably one of the hardest things as far as meal planning is. My kids are very picky. So, and then the last tab that I have here is personal, and that's pretty much anything that I deem personal, that I'm not gonna be sharing, but it has things like card information, tax kind of stuff, information. My dad passed away a couple years ago, and we were trying to, we're in the throes of figuring out the tax returns on his stuff, so that information is in here. And I did have a section in here for YouTube, but I decided that I didn't really want it in here, and so I decided to just get a notebook from Dollar General, and this is pretty much my YouTube notebook where all of the content and like all of the notes that I have for each video and a schedule for when they need to go up. And then I also have an Instagram tab just to, you know, keep track of the content on there that I share. Because sometimes with a planner, it can be pretty much like the same thing. I feel like a lot of the times when I post on Instagram, it's like, I feel like I'm just posting the same things over and over and over again. So I'm trying to, you know, plan out some more unique content if I can. So that's pretty much what's in that notebook. But yeah, this is it. Like, I don't really have anything secretive. Like, it's not like I'm trying to gatekeep what's in here, I promise. But it is so extremely helpful. I didn't have this for a long time, and I was just working off of this because I was trying to research and I was trying to find the perfect notebook for, you know, to complement the day designer, and something that wasn't going to be too bulky and make it so heavy that, you know, it just was pointless to carry around. And this has been absolutely fantastic. I probably should buy like 5 more, but highly recommend the color. She also has different colors. I think she's got like a black one and maybe a pink or a purple one or something. It's, I don't know, but I go to neutral colors. So when I saw this and I ordered it, I was crossing my fingers so hard too. Like, I was like, I hope that this notebook really works out, because obviously I needed another notebook to keep up with all this other information, but I didn't want anything big, and this just works out perfectly. And this notebook itself, it's so light, even with all the things that I have on here. I don't know, there's like, I could go on and on and on about this, but highly recommend if you have the Day Designer Pocket System and you're looking for a notebook. So that is going to be the end of the video. If you have any other questions, if there's something that I didn't touch on, you know, please leave it in the comments, or you can DM me on Instagram. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was answering all of your questions, and I hope that y'all have a fantastic weekend. And thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. Bye, planner friends.